The Board of Trustees of the Lamar Consolidated Independent School District is called to order at 6:30 p.m. This is the regular monthly board meeting being held on February 6th, 2024. We have a quorum with all members present. Please join me in a moment of silence to observe as you feel appropriate. Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance and the pledge to the Texas flag, led by sixth grader Danielle Baines from Wessendorf Middle School.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Good job.
Dr. Nivens, are there any recognitions or awards?
Yes, ma'am, Madam President, there are, and I will turn over to Ms. Cole-Hamilton.
Good evening, Madam President, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Nivens, and of course our community and those in attendance tonight. One of my greatest privileges during these meetings is to acknowledge the outstanding, extraordinary efforts and achievements of our students and staff. And this evening we are proud to highlight several groups and individuals for their district, state, and national accolades. So we'll let you make your way down to the front. Trustees, and to everyone being honored tonight, we definitely appreciate you making us Lamar CISD proud. So we will start with the Fulshire High School volleyball team. After an incredible successful fall season, our Fulshire Lady Chargers medaled at state in the UIL 5A volleyball competition. Overall this year, the Chargers were 40-5 and played a perfect 14-0 season in district. They ended their state semifinals run in a tough loss to the eventual state champions. This was their third appearance at state since 2019, but we're confident it won't be their last. The following Chargers received postseason superlative awards: Regional and District MVP Bailey Warren, Setter of the Team Alexis James, Offensive Player of the Year Lauren Whitty, Coach of the Year Sydney Zimmerman. Our seniors on the team are Haley Nort, Ainsley Cox, and Shayla Williams. Our juniors are Sydney Black, Carly Caraway, Cameron Gazetta, and Addison Litnicki, Tylee Mihal, Avery Pruitt, Yosola Adeleke. Our sophomores are Kayana Lopez, Shania Harris, and Daisy Voscool, and our freshman is Aria Watson. Additionally, we want to congratulate our coaches for a great season. Head coach Sydney Zimmerman, assistant coach Mackenzie Baker, assistant coach Sean Rainbird, assistant coach Nicole Smith. Everybody, give a round of applause for our amazing Lady Chargers. Still focusing on Fulshire, at last year's UIL Spirit State Championships, the Fulshire cheer team came home with a silver medal and a first-place category win in fight song. And in those final moments of the 2023 competition, the team said that 2024 would be their golden year, and they were spot on. During this year's UIL State Spirit competition, the team was able to score a 96.03, the highest score out of all levels, first 1A through 6A, and they brought home the state championship gold medal. The new challenge became, what's next? Why stop here? So the team officially qualified for the National Cheer Association High School National Championship held in Dallas, where they competed against squads from all over the United States. And this was the first invitation for any Lamar CISD school. As a result of their hard work and dedication, we are proud to share that our very own Charged Up Fulshire Cheer Squad have officially been declared the NC High School National Game Day Champions. In addition to this award, the group also won the Herky High Point, which is awarded to the highest scoring team in all game day divisions. Devin Gabbard said that the Spirit competition is one of the most intense competitions. These student athletes give their all for 3 minutes, and then they wait for hours for the judges to score them. Tonight, we got the team captains and the seniors here to represent the entire team. Please give it up for team captain Harmony Williams, senior Jana Hamil, Michaela Brown, Karis Williams, Jenna Roberts, Emma Barton, Kate Zimmerman, Reese Wiles, Kinder Vanderwalt, and Tony Oyuniwa. We also have to recognize the Fulshire cheer coaches, head coach Tara Smith and assistant coach Brittany Morton. Stay there, you're gonna do a group photo. Okay. Yeah, don't leave it.
If possible, she showed up. You're on cheer?
Hmm? Yeah, that's the whole team. That ain't just, that's more names than I said. We got the biggest cheer team in the state. Look at this. All right, make a circle there. I got to get back in for the group photo. Yep. Okay, we're gonna probably need some to sit flat on your bottoms, and then some take a knee. Let's do this. Okay, yeah, come on, everybody. We'll get some flat all on your bottom, all on your bottom. Flat, sit on your feet.
No, picture 4A, 9C.
It's not looking hooked up.
We got it. You don't get to win a national champion by yourself. If you've got any parents of any of our Fulshire athletes, please stand at this time so we can give you a round of applause. Somebody's got to take them to cheer and take them to gymnastics and pay. Yeah, thank you so much, parents. Am I good? Okay, give me, wait, thank you, okay. All right, so last week, Lamar CISD hosted the District 11 5A wrestling meet at the new Fort Bend Epicenter, and our student athletes and coaches represented our district well. Foster High School athletes advanced to regionals in the Varsity Ladies Championship. Additionally, Lamar, Terry, Foster, and Fulshire athletes advanced to regionals in the Varsity Boys Championships. Overall, district champions, Foster High School Ladies Wrestling and Fulshire High School Boys Wrestling. So our individual champions include Kaylani Palmer, Jeannie Hawkins, Shaylin Nelson, Madison Canales, Lydia Patterson, Delaney Beasley, Izzy Kokum, Leslie Hall, Truett Box, Jacob Mendez, Lucas Simos. We also want to recognize our wrestling coaches from Foster High School, Scott Kimball, Greg Jones, Mackenzie Kimball, and from Fulshire High School, Adam Archibek, Davin Meggett, and Heather Terici. Don't go too far. Oh, cool. Y'all got it figured out? Nice. Yeah, let's do separate. Let's do Fulshire first, and then we'll do Foster. Perfect. Thank you. Not yet. This far up? It's not usually this far up, right? Barbara, can you see? I feel like it's just back. Okay, all righty. The Houston Area Texas Association of Sports Officials recently selected the Terry High School football team as a finalist for the Touchdown Club of Houston Sportsmanship Award. At the conclusion of every game, officials complete a report based on the interactions with coaches and players throughout the game. This is a prestigious award based on the character and interactions of a team that was presented at a special luncheon at the Bayou City Center. The Terry football team was awarded runner-up for the Sportsmanship Award in the Greater Houston area, and tonight, the student athletes selected to represent Terry High School are Cameron Lewis, Marcus Townsend, Christopher Ortega, David Vasquez, and we also like to recognize the Terry High School football coaches, head coach Darnell Jackson, and assistant coach Tekendi Daniels. Congratulations to the Terry High School football team. It does. Thank you. Our next couple of recognitions belong to some incredible staff members here in Lamar CISD. This week, it's National School Counseling Week, which is designed to spotlight the unique and critical contribution of school counselors. And right on cue, the counseling team at Lehman Junior High has been awarded the Counselors Reinforcing Excellence for Students in Texas, the CREST Award, by the Texas School Counselor Association. This is the second consecutive year that the team has received this award for exemplary leadership and advocacy in serving students, campus, district, and community. Congratulations to the whole counseling team at Lehman, Kevin Crocker, Azur Gaines, Latanya Session, and Principal Mike Simler for his support. Congratulations, counseling team. I'll sit in my house. Wonderful. Thank you, thank you. And last but not least, we want to wish a big congratulations to the Foster High School and lead theater teacher, Kendra Willoughby, for being inducted into the Texas Thespians Hall of Fame, which is a testament to her 20 years of service and dedication to theater. Ms. Willoughby is one of only 2 inductees this year and was named Volunteer of the Year for Texas Thespians in 2018. Ms. Willoughby has worked for the district since 2010 and graduated from Terry High School in 1997. She's been a Texas Thespian board member since 2017 and serves as the National Competition Chair, which supervises a team that oversees 2 Texas state competitions of more than 4,000 students each year. She also serves as the co-chair of the Educational Theater Association National Thespi Committee, which works at the national level to keep contests relevant and educational. All of us, including your principal, are extremely proud of you, Ms. Kendra Willoughby. Madam President, Dr. Nivens, this concludes our recognitions for this evening.
Okay, Dr. Nivens, are there any introductions?
Yes, ma'am, Madam President. We have a few introductions. I'll turn it over to Mr. Bates.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Nivens. Good evening, Board of Trustees. Tonight is a night of first, as all 4 introductions tonight have first-time accolades associated with their recognition. Beginning with the first principal of the new Viola Randall Elementary School, Mr. Ernest Ernie Bainbridge. Mr. Bainbridge was born and raised in Houston, Texas. He is a proud graduate of the University of Houston, where he received his bachelor's degree, and Lamar University, where he received his master's degree in education administration. Mr. Bainbridge currently serves as the principal of Hubenack Elementary School here in LCISD. Ernie has a total of 15 years of experience in the field of education, with the last 6 years serving here in LCISD. During his time in education, he has served as a teacher, assistant principal, and a campus principal, to say the least. Attending with Mr. Bainbridge tonight is his wife, Lindsay Bainbridge, and sons, Parker and Bennett Bainbridge. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the first principal of Viola Randall Elementary School, Mr. Ernie Bainbridge. Congratulations again. Next is the first principal of the new Willie Melton Jr. Elementary School, and that is Mrs. Laura Hugville. Mrs. Hugville was born in Big Spring, Texas, but has lived in Houston since the age of 2. She is a proud graduate of Sam Houston State University, where she received her bachelor's degree, and St. Thomas University, where she received her master's degree in administration and supervision. Mrs. Hugville currently serves as the principal of Beasley Elementary School here in LCISD, and she has a total of 31 years as of experience in the field of education, where she has served as a teacher, and 18 of the years here in LCISD as an assistant principal and principal. Attending with Mrs. Hugville tonight is her husband, Christian Hugville, daughters Tori Hugville and Tyra Harvey, her sons Tanner and Tate Hugville, her grandson Bear Harvey, and her future son-in-law, Evan Hancock. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the first principal of Willie Melton Jr. Elementary School, Mrs. Laura Hugville. Next, we have the first principal of the new James Steenbergen Middle School, and that is none other than Mr. Ben Perez. Mr. Perez was born and raised here in Rosenberg, Texas. He's one of our very own. Ben is a graduate from B.F. Terry High School. Go Rangers. He is a proud graduate of the University of Houston, where he received his bachelor's degree, and the University of Houston, Victoria, where he received his master's degree in education administration. Mr. Perez currently serves as the principal of Taylor A. Elementary School here in LCISD, where he was also recently named as the National Distinguished Principal of Texas. Mr. Perez has a total of 27 years of experience in the field of education, where he has served as a paraprofessional, teacher, math and science specialist, assistant principal, as well as principal, all here in LCISD. Attending with Mr. Perez tonight is his wife, Stacy, and sons Noah and Christian. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the first principal of Steenbergen Middle School, Mr. Ben Perez. And last, but certainly not least, is the first female campus athletic coordinator here in LCISD, Mrs. Alicia Dutch. Mrs. Dutch was born and raised in San Antonio, Texas. She was a proud graduate of Texas State University, where she earned her bachelor's degree in exercise and sports science. Ms. Dutch serves as a teacher currently at George Ranch, as well as a coach. Mrs. Dutch has a total of 16 years of experience in the field of education, and the last 10 being here in LCISD with us as a teacher/coach. Attending with Mrs. Dutch tonight is her husband, Todd, as well as her son, Jackson, and her daughter, Bellamy Dutch. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, please help me welcome the first female campus athletic coordinator for LCISD and at George Ranch, Mrs. Alicia Dutch. Madam President, Dr. Nivens, this concludes all introductions for this evening. Thank you. Congratulations.
Okay, we'll now have board member reports. Trustees, if you can keep your comments and reports to 1 to 2 minutes, please.
Go ahead, Kate.
You want me to go ahead?
Go ahead first.
You always know I have something. Here we go. Yeah, I just have a few shout outs, of course, like I like to do. The last couple of weeks, I've been able to go to see Chicago at Foster High School, and Kendra Willoughby, definitely a masterpiece of a performance. And of course, Mamma Mia at Fulsher, they always do excellent, excellent musicals. Several of us got to attend last week, or week before last, George Junior High 50th anniversary. Even though it was a yucky night, a lot of people came out. There were, the kids showcased their band, their choir. It was an amazing event. And a lot of the former teachers that had been there from the beginning were there. So it was good to catch up and see some of those ladies and gentlemen. And thank you to everyone that helped make that a successful event. And just another shout out, after last month's meeting, I wanted to get a little bit more perspective of what the new phonics program was. So Teresa Gage created a play for me to go to Hubenek and visit a first grade classroom and watch them in action doing this UFLI phonics program that we're doing this year. Not only was the teacher amazing, she had 25 students, first grade, and they were all on task. When she asked them to do something, they did it. It was of course it is February, so I know they're all trained, but it's a lot of first graders doing an amazing job with her directions and performing, and I really did enjoy it. And of course, I could hear the voice in my head of how I used to kind of teach the program. So it's not new, but the format is new of how to do it with these kids. And I'm just so happy that this program is now in our district to give our kids the tools and skills to become the successful readers that we want them to become. And it was Brooke Vortowski, I guess that's how to say her name, and excellent teacher over there at Hubenek. But I'm always enjoy going over to Hubenek to see those teachers. But anyway, that's all I've got for today.
I want to say thank you to State Representative Gary Gates, who came to the administration building today, and he had a meeting with myself, Dr. Nivens, Dr. Waits, and Dr. Lazar, and we had a conversation about the CTE program. He's got some criticisms of how it's done statewide by a lot of school districts, and we're building a CTE center, so I wanted to make sure that we're not falling into some of the same pitfalls that some of the other school districts have. So we had a good conversation. It was about an hour long. So thank you.
I got two quick things. I was able to join Coach Jackson and the Terry team, Terry with Cameron there at the Houston Football Touchdown Club, and this ballroom was full of schools from all around Houston. And it was just exciting to see our Terry students rise up. And out of all Houston area students, we got second in sportsmanship. So that spoke a lot to them. And then I want to give a shout out to Elise from Westendorf. She's a sweet little girl. My wife and I went to the Randall and Lamar game, and the door was locked. So I was knocking on the door. Nobody would open the door. I flashed my badge. She still wouldn't open the door for me. She went and got her mom to open the door. So Elise did it. So I was able to tell her mom, I'm like, your daughter did the right thing. She didn't open the door. She went and got an adult. So shout out to Elise from Westendorf for following the rules even after school when there was a basketball game.
Okay, Dr. Nivens, is there a superintendent report?
Yes, ma'am. It'll be really briefly. So what I want to address is, the behind the scenes. So tonight, we reassigned some principals, and then we reassigned the very first female athletic campus coordinator. A lot of things those individuals have in common is, they're great at what they do, but more importantly, they're just good people. And they speak life into their staff, into their kids, into their community, and they show up to work every day, and they work really hard. And so when you do those things, you have opportunities that come up, and then you seize those opportunities. And so Coach Dutch, in particularly, when I first got here, I met her, and always a smile, always working with kids, always doing everything. When I do campus visits, she have her pals' kids over at Carter, and always doing something outside of her job description. And so I believe that when people earn an opportunity, that you give it to them no matter what the structure looks like. And so typically that position has been tied to the head football coach. And so in my head, I'm like, well, you know, a female wouldn't have the opportunity unless she's the head football coach. And so I had some conversations, and I said, you know, when we have an opportunity, then I want to make her a campus athletic coordinator because y'all, Alicia Dutch is the real deal. And she really helps kids. And so I'm super proud to be able to lead the charge, to make history in Lamar CISD, and open that door to make sure that we all have an opportunity. You know, you shouldn't work hard every single day and do what you do, speak life into folks, and don't have an opportunity. And so I'm just proud to be on this team, to be able to give her an opportunity. So that's it, Madam President.
Okay, Ms. Johnson, are there any public comments?
It is the desire of the Lamar CISD Board of Trustees to appropriately and effectively fulfill its governance role in accordance to best practices for quality organizations and to the applicable provisions of the Texas Education Code. Trustees also desire to afford an opportunity for input from the public. Members of the community who wish to address the board must have completed a public participation public comment card and submitted it before the presiding officer called the meeting to order. Public participation allows individuals to address the board regarding posted agenda items. Public comment allows individuals to address the board regarding non-agenda items. Trustees may not respond to public comments as they are prohibited by law from discussing or deciding any subject that is not on the board's publicly noticed agenda. A total of 30 minutes will be set aside for public comments. All patrons desiring to speak and who have completed the public participation comment card will be heard during public comment portion of the meeting before a final board action is taken on an agenda topic. While speakers generally have 5 minutes to address the board, the presiding officer may establish an overall time limit for public participation and public comment and adjust the time allotted to each speaker when necessary to accommodate a large number of speakers. However, no speaker shall be given less than 1 minute. All of this is in compliance with HB 2840. Each speaker tonight will have 5 minutes. If 2 or more individuals are speaking on the same topic, the district has strongly encouraged speakers to consolidate their comments to allow for more time on that topic. Each speaker must address the board from the provided podium unless special accommodations have been requested and approved. Speakers are to present their remarks to the board and not to the audience. Speakers having complaints against individual district employees or trustees may only address the board after filing a complaint form and in the manner provided for in Board Policy DGBA employee complaints, F&G student and parent complaints, and GF public complaints. The presiding officer or designee shall determine whether a speaker has filed a complaint according to policy. Any speakers who complain of individual district employees or trustees during public participation, public comment will be directed by the presiding officer to stop addressing the board and will refer the speaker to the appropriate complaint policy. School board meetings are meetings held in public but are not public meetings. While the board values hearing from members of the public, trustees will not answer questions or respond to comments from patrons. Speakers will not engage in dialogue with the trustees. Please state your name when you come forward. Our first speaker is Billy Gardner.
First, I'd like to say thank you to the board and Dr. Nivens for all you do for the district. I've had children in this district since 2013. But only recently started attending these meetings, and it's easy to see that you all care, so thank you for that. However, I do feel like UBNAC has been put on the back burner, and for too long. It was over capacity prior to the Bentley Elementary opening in 2016, and has remained over capacity even after the relief that gave. It's only gotten worse since then. No school in the district, elementary or otherwise, has been over capacity as long as UBNAC. The long-range planning conducted prior to the 2020 bond election showed Elementary 37 opening in the 2021-2022 school year and West Park Lakes moving to Adolphus. That obviously hasn't happened due to issues somewhat outside of the control of the district. And I say somewhat because it seems like a feasibility study to see if that land could actually be built on would and should have been done prior to purchasing it. So if it wasn't suitable to provide the relief the district needs, we could have focused your efforts and our money on a different tract of land to acquire. Not being able to change the past, there is an opportunity now to fix this overcrowding issue. With the current options for rezoning, option 1 provides no relief in the 2024 school year. The relief that it provides in 2025, it'll still be substantially over capacity. The attendance zone will effectively be the exact same as the 2016 school year after Bentley opened, except now there are significantly more students within that same boundary. Hubenack would remain over capacity, with the problem only getting worse in the interim until Elementary 37 opens at a date that's still to be determined. And that assumes there's no further development in the area around Elementary 37 that would then limit how much relief could actually be provided to Hubenack when it eventually does open. Option 2, Hubenack would see some relief in 2024, but would remain over capacity. It's very likely Hubenack would remain over capacity in 2025 due to additional apartment construction that's currently taking place south of Bel Air and west of Peak Road. Again, this option relies on the assumption Elementary 37 would be able to provide the real relief that Hubenack needs, but it's just as likely to assume there will be additional development in the area impacting the forecasted boundary of Elementary 37, which hasn't broken ground yet, that would prevent further relief to Hubenack. Option 3 provides maximum relief to Hubenack in 2024 and 2025. This option provides a sustainable attendance boundary that would effectively never have to be adjusted in the future. There's no more open land within that area for further development, and the projected attendance within that boundary does not put the school into an underutilization scenario. I do understand the concern with potentially moving students east of 99 more than once, but again, that is based on a lot of assumptions that may or may not become a reality. Even if a second move was required, there is still a very small percentage of students impacted. Best case scenario, if Elementary 37 opened in 2026, this would only impact 3 grade levels of students across 3 relatively small neighborhoods. Each year Elementary 37 opening is delayed, this reduces the number of students that would move more than once. So if it didn't open until 2027, only 2 grade levels across those 3 neighborhoods would be impacted. We voted for relief in 2020, and again 2 years later in 2022, when you asked for additional bond funds to cover inflation. To keep kicking the can down the road would be a disservice to the community, but more importantly, to the children and faculty at Hubenack. In summary, my request is that each of you strongly consider option 3 when you're called to vote on this topic. I truly believe it is the only long-term solution to the overcrowding problem at Hubenack Elementary. Right now, you have a great opportunity to fix this issue. Please don't waste it. Thank you.
That is
Okay, at this time, we'll take action on the consent agenda. Are there any items that the board would like to pull? Okay. May I have a motion to approve the current consent agenda? Mr. Welch, second first. Ms. Danziger, seconds. Any discussion? No? Okay, I now call for the vote. All in favor of approving the current consent agenda, say aye. Opposed? The motion carries. Okay, we'll now have reports and presentations on the future action items.
All right, Madam President, I'll turn it over to Mr. Buchanan.
Good evening, Board of Trustees and Dr. Nivens. Tonight, we're going to bring forth some discussion about the, the design development of the new CTE Center. So again, this site is located at the corner of Klosterhoff Road and Spur 10, across from the Dollar Tree Dollar General Distribution Warehouse. So last Friday, our design committee met. It was including campus staff along with CTE teachers across the district and district leadership. They reviewed all 3 of these options and they voted on these 3 options. So this is option 1. This is the exterior of the facility. Again, this facility would face Spur 10. So just reminding everyone from the right side, this is the large group instructional area, the administration area. As you move back across, you have cosmetology, then you have the drones on this end and automotive. This has parking that both starts from the east, goes back towards the west, and wraps around the front of the facility. Majority of the parking centered around that large group instruction. If we bring large groups in there, that's where the parking is centrally located to be able to bring them in the facility. Are there any questions about option one? Okay, option two. What we did with option two is we changed both the colors and dynamics of the exterior of the facility, along with changing some of the elevations on the top of roof. Again, everything is currently laid out the exact same. There's just some changes with the entrances and labeling around the facility. Are there any questions about option two? Option three, again, is changing materials and designs, changing elevations back and forth, bringing certain elements of the building out and back, along with changing the roof elevations. It has a more dynamic canopy in front of the large group instruction area. Again, the board has chosen to approve Duratec as our construction manager at risk over this. They have reviewed all three of these options, and they said the constructability currently of all three of these are the same in dollar amount wise. And they also have stated that this design is within our current budget. Are there any questions about the three options?
Mr. Buchanan, what are the difference in the roofing? You talked about the different variations.
But basically, the different variations, if you see how they're getting light into the center hallway, if you remember on the floor plan, there is a large center hallway. So if you look on all the different options, it's just different ways of bringing that light within the facility itself. The roofing material will be the same no matter on all three options. It's just how we're getting light in, and it changes the look of it from the outside, still functioning the same way of getting that daylight into the center of the facility. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we'll take action on the action items.
All right, trustees, we have Mr. Buchanan and Ms. Cohampton coming up.
All right, good evening, Madam President, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Nivens. So with Tomas High School, Banks Junior High, and Bilstein Middle School opening in August of 2025, we need to rezone some current secondary campuses to create the population of students who will attend these new campuses. And so trustees, it is our practice to create an attendance boundary committee, and this is the group of parents who will provide community and parental involvement in redrawing our attendance boundaries to accommodate growths or shifts in our student population. Membership of the ABC will consist of representatives from potentially impacted campuses, and they are appointed by the campus leader. And so in looking at the Tomas, Banks, and Bilstein complex, we know that Tomas High School will open with 9th through 12th graders, with 12th graders having the option to remain at their current campus. And so right now, the 9th and 12th graders represent the current 7th through 10th graders. So we're looking to have at least one parent representatives from each of the neighborhoods on the screen. Our campus leaders did reach out, and we did realize that some neighborhoods may not have students in a particular grade level, so that was a challenge. But this evening, we present our roster of ABC representatives. We do have 68 people on our committee representing our campuses across the district. And trustees, the next step after you approve the ABC and the maps tonight will be to launch the community survey in March. The two ABC meetings will take place in April 2nd and April 4th. And then we'll bring to you a future action item and then an action item for you to determine the attendance boundary zones for the new secondary complex. At this time, I will turn it over to my colleague, Mr. Greg Buchanan, to walk us through the map options if you would like that, trustees. Yes?
Good evening again. Tonight, this is our projection zone. Again, this is broken down into 4 quadrants. Even though that we say it's a Tomas rezoning, it's a rezoning for both the Bilstein Middle School, Banks Junior High, and the Tomas High School complex. Again, to talk about the projections, if it is red, that means that we do not have capacity both within the building and the portables within that site. If it's orange, it means we have capacity, but we're having to utilize portables to be able to hold those students. And if it is clear, it is within the building itself. We have a few blue. The blue is representative, meaning the enrollment is less than 70% of the capacity of the facility. The reason that we put all of these up is because if you'll notice on the high school, the only one that becomes red at any point in time is the Fulshire High School in either an option 1, 2, or 3. It's just the middle school, junior high schools, as you notice, it changes dramatically within those options of how it impacts the other campuses within the facility. So this is our current attendance boundary, and on the right is our projections if we don't do anything and we don't open Tomas High School. So this is our option 1 for those 3 campuses, and these are the 2 options side by side. Our current is on the left. Option 1 is on the right. If you'll notice, as we look at the map, you have Lost Creek, Lakemont, Parkway Lakes, all 3 sections of it, Lakes of Bellaterra, Talavera, Westheimer Lakes, Candela, Briscoe Falls makes up the Tomas zone. It pulls both from the purple and current gold track. That attendance boundary right on this one is basically Fulshire, Gaston, and Bel Air, both north and south. It gives us a 4-lane corridor to be able to bring students to and from those campuses. Are there any questions about option 1? So the other changes that we made as Tomas encompassed that is the Foster High School attendance zone now picks up not only Pecan Lakes, but picks up Pecan Grove. Terry's High School attendance zone goes north to the Cummings, north and south of the Cummings Road. It stops short of Kingdom Heights. Kingdom Heights' entire neighborhood is still at Foster. The only other change is the Emberley, Bernard Park, Kendleton area would come off of Randall High School and shift over into Terry High School to again make sure that that high school has the enrollment that it needs to function. Option 2. There's a few changes to option 2. When you look at the Tomas attendance zone, is this section west of Candela. Currently that is undeveloped and it is not platted. There's no development currently planned in that area for the near future. So that's why we left it in the Fulshire zone. The changes to this is it does pick up all of Lakemont now, where the zone 1 part of Lakemont would be in Tomas, section of it would be continue to be in Foster. This also picks up Rio Vista and River's Edge out of Lamar, and it makes 90 and Brazos River now the natural boundary. So the Cummings Road north and south of that would continue to stay at Foster. The boundary would now be the Brazos. And then the Emberley, Bernard River Park, and the Kendleton area would shift into the Terry High School attendance zone. In both option 1 and 2, George Ranch High School's attendance zone does not change. This is option 3. And again, this option, what we're trying to do is if you notice the numbers, trying to get the most relief that we could. What would that look like for the Fulshire High School complex? What this does is it goes west down 1093 and comes north. So this is east of Texas Heritage Parkway, north of 1093, Cross Creek Ranch area. So the Cross Creek Ranch that is west of of Texas Heritage Parkway would continue to stay at Fulshire. It would just be the east side of that. This also brings the Foster attendance zone up north because we have to get more students into Foster because we're shifting more kids into Tomas. So that again would split the Lakemont area roughly right around the Bel Air corridor. Again, the Foster's southern border would continue to stay 90 in the Brazos River, and the Emberley, Bernard River Park, Kendleton area would continue to stay at Terry High School. Are there any questions about the 3 options?
So all of Lakemont would stay together and go to Foster, is that correct? Or is there part of it going
No, ma'am.
to Tomas?
In this option 3, it is split because Lakemont comes from this general area, comes down,
Right.
and then heads down to right about where the bottom of Lakemont.
So the front of Lakemont goes to Tomas and the back of Lakemont?
Yes, ma'am.
goes
Basically, the
to-
north section of Bel Air and then southern. It changes on all 3 options. So if you go back to option 2, this has all of Lakemont going to Tomas. Option 2 does.
Right.
And it doesn't split up the neighborhood. So basically, the dividing line that you see there is Lakemont now goes to Tomas, and Long Meadow Farms would continue to stay at Foster, east of 99. So we have options of keeping those neighborhoods together, but trying to, look at the natural boundaries that we could of major thoroughfares to see if we could balance the enrollment the best we could.
Thank you.
Sorry. Where you have Cross Creek Ranch, but then you have south of 1093, is that the part you were saying that's undeveloped and not platted?
Yes, ma'am. That section here.
Yes, that.
That is all currently unplatted at this point in time. It's where the city of Fulshere's temporary annexes were, those businesses along that area. There's no residential neighborhoods in that section.
Right, south of 1093, that's just like Harris Ranch, right?
That's correct.
That still isn't, that's no plans for development there.
Not in the near future.
Oh.
We haven't seen anything come out. I mean, there's been some, things we've heard, but not anything that we've actually seen contractually be able to come out and be able to use in that area yet.
Gotcha.
Can you go back to 3 real fast? In all 3 of the maps, I'm sorry, I should have looked better, but do they all change? Pecan Grove and River's Edge, do they all change where they're going in all 3 of the maps?
No, ma'am, this is option 3.
Yeah.
So in this option, Pecan Grove, Rio Vista, and River's Edge would go to Foster, come out of Lamar.
Okay.
In option 2 is the same thing, but in option 1, it's only Pecan Grove. In option 1, Rio Vista and River's Edge would continue to stay at Lamar High School.
Okay.
When we start looking at the dynamics and the enrollment, that's what we were trying to look at, was what that growth was. This does keep Lamar at a higher enrollment point, giving Foster a little bit more room to be able to absorb growth that might happen within their attendance boundary.
I mean, taking Pecan Grove out of Lamar.
Yes, ma'am, because it was elevating their enrollment, so we needed some relief to Lamar.
Okay.
That's why we only took a small section out in option 1, and then in option 2 and 3, we put a little bit more out from Lamar, because it is growing in the Phelan Veranda, along with the old section of Fort Bend County Country Club. As that continues to grow out, we're continuing to add enrollment in the blue track.
What year was it, if you know this, was Pecan Grove rezoned before? That was 2000, when was that?
2010
2010, okay.
is when George Ranch High School opened.
And that's when all that
And that's
occurred.
when all that exploded.
Okay.
But it's calmed down and nobody's there now anymore. But it could explode again. But yeah, it was 2010.
Okay. Guess that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
So I just want to be clear, trustees, tonight, and really for the public, what you're voting on is the 3 maps to send forward to the committee and also the committee. And so the board hasn't made a decision on what map they're voting on tonight. They've voted on the 3 maps that's going to go forward to the committee for further discussion. That committee also has the option to develop its own map, and then they will bring back their recommendations to the trustees at a later date for a future action item. So tonight, the board is only voting on the maps that's going to go to the committee for conversation, and the actual committee themselves.
Got it. Thank you. Okay, may I have a motion for the board to approve the attendance boundary committee and the slate of draft map options for Tomas High School, Banks Junior High School, and Bilstein Middle School? Who's got it? You? Okay. Can I have a second? Okay. Oh, Ms. Box, I'm sorry, yes. And all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Okay, are there any items on the future, is that where we're at? Yeah. Are there any items on the future consent items agenda that the trustees would like to pull for discussion at the March board meeting? No? Okay. It is 7:25 p.m. We're adjourning to closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Sections 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, and 551.082, the Open Meetings Act, to discuss personnel, land acquisition, or consultation with our attorney. Okay, we're now back in open session. It is 8:03 PM and we have a quorum. Any motions to be made?
Yes, Madam President, I move that the Board of Trustees approve the hiring of personnel as presented in closed session.
Do we have a second? Ms. Danziger seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Okay, motion passes. Any more? Yes. ma'am.
Yes, Madam President, I move that the Board of Trustees approve the renewal or extension of the administrative or professional contracts as presented in closed session.
Do we have a second? Okay, and all in favor, say aye. Aye. Against? Okay, motion passes. Are there any future agenda items the board would like to add? Nope, okay. The meeting is adjourned. It is 8:04 PM.